In this problem, we're being asked to divide. And this problem is set up like you would set it up for long division. There's this bracket thing, and then the thing you're dividing is put inside the bracket, and the thing you're dividing by is put outside. So this is 62 divided by 2. So another way to write that would be 62 divided by 2. And you might, in your head, already be racing to a solution. You might be smart enough to think, well, let's see, 62 is 60 plus 2. So if I divided both of those parts by 2, 60 divided by 2, that's not too hard, that's 30. And 2 divided by 2, well, that's 1. So this is going to be 31. If that's what you did in your head, you're absolutely right. Good for you. I think it's good for us to start with this simple problem to show you the method if you haven't seen it before, or if you need a refresher on the method, because we know what the answer is going to be. It is 31, so we can check our work and we'll know if we're going wrong. This method we're going to use works for much more complicated problems, so when you can't do it in your head, this is the thing to do. We're actually going to go through repeated steps of division, then multiplication, then subtraction to try to get rid of all the stuff under the bracket and only leave stuff on the top. And that stuff on the top is going to be our answer. So the very first thing you do is you look at this first digit, this 6, and you try to divide it by 2. So in your head, you should be thinking, what is 6 divided by 2? And you know that it's 3. That 3 is what goes on top here. Okay, so that's the first division step. After you do division, you multiply. You take that 3 and you multiply it by 2. So the next step is 3 times 2 equals 6, and you put that 6 down here. Now it may seem silly, you've just did the opposite thing that you did in the step before, but what we're trying to do is systematically, step by step, get rid of everything under this bracket. So 2 times 3 is 6, then we're going to subtract away that 6. So we're getting rid of that 6, it's a 0. I'm not even going to put the 0 down here, I don't have to. And then you pull down the next number. So those are all the steps. You might have to repeat it several times. In this case, we repeat it twice, but if there are more digits, you'll repeat the same process over and over again. You divide, then you multiply, put the number down here, you subtract it away, and then you pull the next number down. So those are the steps. Now, we're going to go back to the beginning of this process, and the beginning is to divide. So my next question is, what is 2 divided by 2? So I'm looking at what's down here, and I'm trying to divide it by this thing here. 2 divided by 2, well, that equals 1. So the 1 goes on top. Now we multiply. 1 times 2. Well, 1 times 2 is 2, so that goes down here. And then we subtract away. 2 minus 2 is 0. Aha. When you end up with 0, you have a division problem without a remainder. So your answer is just this, 31. And hey, we came up with what we came up with in our doing it in our head method. Sometimes you won't get a 0 down here, but if the number is less than what you're dividing by, let's say it was a 1, that would be your remainder. So in division, sometimes your answer might be 31 remainder 1, something like that. In this case, no remainder. All right, let's practice all of that again. If you want to stop the video and try this one on your own first to see if you can do it, that'd be great. Again, let's just do this one in our head quickly. So this is 48 divided by 2, and I don't even have to write anything down for this one. I know that 48 hours is 2 days. So if I divide that in 2, it's just 1 day, and 1 day is 24 hours. So I know our answer should be 24. So I'm just going to jot that down up here so we can double check. But let's go through the processes. So the first thing we do is we look at this first digit and we try to divide it by 2. So what's 4 divided by 2? Well, that's 2. So that answer goes up on top. Then we multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. And that goes down here. We've divided, we've multiplied, now we subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. I won't write the 0, and then the 8 gets pulled down. All right, that's a whole cycle. Now we started again with this number. So we should be thinking, what's 8 divided by 2? Well, that's 4. So that is in our answer. We put it up there. Then we multiply that 4 times the 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. And then we subtract, and 8 minus 8 is 0. So again, we have a division answer without a remainder. So our answer is just 24, and that's exactly what we thought. There are 24 hours in one day, there are 48 hours in 2 days, so this is all making sense. So that is how to do this long division, and the process might seem kind of silly right now, but when the numbers get more complicated, this is going to come in really handy.